Hi, today I will be talking to you about using a Filtergraph portal. When you first visit your portal, this is what will appear. The title of the portal is displayed along with the portal's description. On the right we have the data viewing window, and on the left we have the editing window. The first data visualization tool we'll be looking at is the Scatterplot. In the data visualization window you will see points plotted along the X and Y axis. You can click and drag in order to zoom onto a particular portion of the graph. Clicking on a point will bring up information about that point. Here you can see the viewing window dimensions. They were set when we clicked and dragged. Clicking the filters will reset the window to show all data points. Clicking more reveals many other customizable features of the graph. Here you can add a title. You can even change the font. The font size, point size, and point type can also be changed. Changing the point type can help better visualize larger or smaller amounts of data. You can add a trend line to your data, you can hide the grid, add error bars. Checking invert will give you a black background with white text, which can make your data points more visible. Clicking on statistics will give you statistics about your data set, such as the minimum, maximum information for your different columns. Lines and annotations allows you to add text or lines or functions to the graph itself. You can control where these are placed on the graph. The size, color, and angle can also be set. Clicking Add will allow you to add another line or annotation. Filtergraph supports mathematical functions performed on the columns of your dataset. Within the axes boxes, you can see a list of all the functions you can use. Here's the axis box with the column name. Here you'll see a drop-down list of all the columns in your dataset. Here I've added two columns together. Right now we are viewing a 2D scatterplot. You can make the scatterplot 3D by adding a z-axis. I'm going to make depth my z-axis and change the color parameter to magnitude. As you see, you can greatly customize how you look at your data. You can use the arrows at the bottom of the window to rotate the viewing area. You can also move it up and move it down. Selecting None will return the plot to 2D. Color adds another dimension to your plot, and you can also change the color palettes that are used. Now we'll take a look at Filtergraph's histogram feature. If you click on the histogram tab, you will be presented with something that looks like this. It defaults to a 2D histogram with data on the X and Y axis and color indicative of either bin count, the average of a variable, or the sum of a variable. A 3D histogram will allow you to graph count, average, or sum of variables on the z-axis. Here you'll see I have magnitude as the color, but count as my z-axis. This can also be turned for better viewing of the display. You can also do a 1D histogram. Here you'll see that the column is on the x-axis and the y-axis shows the count. You can also change the color of this histogram. Filtering data will actually remove data points from the display. You can choose any variable. You could say that it's between, starts with, ends with, contains, and then enter your values. So all values below 100 have been filtered out. Clicking on How does this work will give you a better description of what each function does. Saving and sharing portals with all of your customizations is as easy as copying this URL at the bottom of the page. You can also download it as an image file. Finally, we will be looking at Filtergraph's table feature. Here you will see the data displayed on the right with the column titles and all the points following. You can sort this by selecting a particular column. You can also only show particular columns. You can reverse the sorting order. You can also only show a certain number of rows from your data set. You can also only show points with parameters between specified values. Clicking on the column name will automatically sort by that column. You can also save and share tables by sharing a link or downloading text files. These can be HTML, ASCII, they can also be tab, comma, or space separated. That was just a quick introduction to using a Filtergraph portal. More specific instructions on each of the features can be found on the Filtergraph wiki. Try it out for yourself. Register, upload a dataset, and start graphing.